Hi friends, welcome back to today's session. So today we are here to discuss about a manufacturing process. So today we are going to discuss about salt gel process and what is its use. So as you all aware, now nanotechnology is one of the trending one, right? In nanotechnology, in the industries, the method which is used for the manufacturing process is sol gel process. Today we are going to know about this sol gel process, what are its advantages, how it is used in the industries, and so on in today's session. So let's don't waste our time right now. Let's start with our first slide. As you can see, my presentation today include what is Sol-Gel method, its introduction, what is its working principle, what are its advantages, disadvantages, and then I'll conclude with the applications. Now let us see what Sol-Gel process is exactly. So in the name itself, you can find you have in the name itself you have sol gel. Sol stands for solid and gel stands for gel. So in this process, what we are doing is we are in this process we are going to do what we are doing is we are performing a synthesis process in which just a minute. So, sol-gel process is a synthesis process of a solid material in a liquid at a low temperature. So, in this process, what we are doing is we are going to synthesize a solid material from a liquid at a low temperature. That is the sol-gel method. Sol stands for solid. We are going to synthesize a solid from a jelly substance at a low temperature. That is sol-gel method. So how this is happening is we are going to dissolve the component in liquid. That is, we are going to dissolve a solid. We are going to dissolve one component in liquid to get back it into the solid state. And this happens at low temperature, that is in a controlled manner. So basically what is a sol gel process? We are going to synthesize a solid from a jelly like substance or a liquid at a low temperature. So this is nothing but a nanotechnology because all the gel products contain nanoparticles. From the nanoparticles, we are going to get a solid. So it's nothing but typical nanotechnology. Now let us look at its history. As we all know about the sol-gel process, it was discovered in 1800. But the importance of sol-gel process was known in 1970s. That why it has taken this much time. The reason is in 1970s actually they produced a glass with the help of sol gel process instead of high temperature melting. So generally we know how a glass is manufactured. We manufacture a glass by melting it at high temperatures, but with the help of this sol gel process they have produced the glass in 1970s. Then the people have come to know the importance of this sol gel process. Now, when I'm talking about a sol and gel, you'll remember some terms which you have learned in chemistry in colloidal particles. So, what is a sol? A sol is a colloidal or a molecular suspension of solid particles in a solvent. Okay, what is a sol? Sol is a suspension, colloidal or molecular suspension of a solid in a solvent. What is a gel? Gel means you say like a sticky substance, right? In the same manner, a gel is a semi-rigid mass formed when solvent in sol gets evaporated. So, as we know, what is a sol? Sol is a colloidal suspension of solid in a solvent. When this solvent is getting evaporated, this solid becomes a jelly substance. That jelly substance we are calling it as gel. So, this is a sol and a gel. So, we are going to get a sol from the gel. That is nothing but sol gel process, which is a typical nanotechnology. So, this is the timeline. You can see how the sol gel method has become known to everyone from 1800 to 2014. This is the timeline. Once go through it, nothing to explain in this. Now let us see the steps that are involved in this sol-gel method. As you can see, the steps involved are hydrolysis and condensation, gelation, aging, drying, firing, and densification. These are the steps that are involved in the sol-gel process. Now let us look at each and every process in detail. So I'll explain you the process with this diagram. Okay, later on we'll go to the steps. So first we are going to take, as you can see here, we are going to take a precursor solution. Okay, so these are the steps, right? Like I'll tell you what's a precursor solution also. As you can see, this is a precursor solution. Precursor solution, we can take aerogels, nanostructured materials, the films and all. These comes under the precursor solution. So what first we are doing is, we are taking precursor solution here. What are the first two steps? Hydrolysis and condensation. So after performing the hydrolysis and condensation, we get a jelly substance. Okay, the gel is formed here. Then I told you about aging. Okay, then we go for aging process. Once aging is done, then we go for the drying process. Drying also is of two types: evaporative drying and supercritical drying. So we get xerogel and aerogel. From these gels we get the final compound. This is basically the working process. So once again I'll repeat. So first we are going to take a precursor solution. After hydrolysis and condensation, gel will be formed. So we do aging. Why we do aging also I'll explain you. So once this gel is dried, if you dry it in evaporative condition, you get xerogel, and under supercritical condition, you get aerogel. So using this gels, we get the final compound. This is basically the sol-gel method. Now let us have a look at the process in brief. First, the sol formation takes place. How the sol is formed? I told you, hydrolysis, right? When a metal organic reactant is hydrolyzed. Okay, what is hydrolysis? We know exactly, right? So hydrolysis nothing but is a reaction with water. When you react an organic compound or metal organic reactant with water, that is nothing but hydrolysis. When hydrolysis occurs, sol is formed. That's the first step. Now what is happening in the second step? When this sol is condensed, okay, when we go perform condensation for this sol, a gel is going to be formed. Simply I'm telling you once again, when you are reacting a metal organic solvent with water or a metal organic reactant with water, sol is formed. When you are performing condensation for this sol, so condensation of the sol will result in gel. Now the third step I told, in the first step is hydrolysis, second step is condensation. Then what's the third step? Third step is aging, right? Why we do aging? Okay. So generally you might have found in a jelly substance, if you when you stretch it and all, some cracks will occur, right, in a jelly substance. So to avoid that cracks, to prevent the cracks, okay, we are going to perform aging. So aging is performed in order to prevent the cracks in the gel formed. Now, I already talked about these precursor solutions, right? Sol, powder, fibers and all. These comes under the precursor solutions. Now, the drying. Already in the previous slide, I have shown you drying is under two conditions: evaporative drying and supercritical drying. So why we do drying? Even after once the gel is formed, it contains some liquid, right? So in order to remove that liquid, we go for drying. So what are the steps? First, we are hydrolyzing. That is, organic reactant is reacted with water to form a sol. This sol on condensation will form a gel. Then we are going for aging. Aging will help to prevent the cracks. Then the next step is drying. Why we need to dry? So when we go for drying, if any kind amount of liquid is present in the gel, that pore liquid will be removed. So on drying, so as I have shown you already, drying is of two types, evaporative drying and supercritical drying. Based on the drying you perform, xerogels and aerogels are formed. Once the drying is completed, we are going to heat the gel at 800 degrees Celsius. So when you heat the gel at 800 degrees Celsius, what happens is, what the pores which are present in the gel will actually collapse and the gel becomes stable. Okay, this firing or calcination, that is heating the gel at 800 degrees Celsius, is performed in order to maintain the stability of the gel. After the calcination, what we do is, it also results in the densification and decomposition of the gel. So these are the steps in sol gel process. Once again, I'll tell you in detail. You can see here. So sol formation, that is, you are reacting the organic reactant with water. It forms a sol. Now, on condensation of this sol, we get gel. Then we go for aging. Aging will prevent the cracks in the gel. After aging, what we are doing? Drying. When we dry it, any pore liquid is present, that gets removed. After that, we are heating the gel up to 800 degrees Celsius so that it gets stability, it gets densified and gel gets decomposed. This is the process. So now you get a question in your mind, right? Why we need to heat, or why we need to go for calcination or firing? So the calcination or firing will help us to get the desired shapes. You can see here we have thin film and all, no? In order to get this shape, calcination or firing helps us. That's the reason we go for calcination or firing. Now, we have seen all these steps, right? Hydrolysis, condensation, aging, drying, and then aging, drying, firing or calcination. Now let us see what are the advantages of this sol-gel process. Through this sol-gel process, we are going to produce mono-sized nanoparticles. At the same time, we can synthesize glasses, ceramic materials at low temperatures. Remember this point, the main advantages of sol-gel process is we are going to manufacture the nanoparticles at low temperatures. We are going to as you can see, what was the sol-gel method? To synthesize a solid from a gel at a low temperature. So you can synthesize all these kinds of glasses, glass ceramics at low temperature. Now let us look at the applications. So as it is related to nanotechnology, it has wide range of applications, as you know. So the applications include optical and photonic applications, mechanical applications, biomedical applications, chemical applications, and electronic applications. These are all the different kinds of applications of this sol-gel process. You can see here, right? So these are the different kinds of application of this sol-gel process. So with this sol-gel, many industries get benefited because of this sol-gel process. So I hope you have understood the significance of sol-gel process, how sol-gel process is used for, as a manufacturing technique in nanotechnology. What are the steps involved in the sol-gel process? In the next video, I'll come up with one another interesting topic. Until then, keep watching our channel. Please like, share, and subscribe. Thank you, everyone.